I find it very interesting the way Donald Trump is speaking regarding his alleged New York, fraud case regarding the fact that New York Attorney General and the judge in that case feel that Trump has inflated his net worth and his assets to a point that could even exceed $2 billion. And because of this, there is a potential that they may remove Trump from doing business, which is insane, from New York ever again, as well as his two sons, Donald Jr. and Eric Trump. And the thing is that there could be penalties up to 250 million or more potentially regarding fines, which is insane. But what Trump is he's kind of like in a situation I've never seen him before. He's always been this very confident person. Always speaks with 100% conviction and confidence, and now he's trying to kind of play. It's weird. I've never seen it. Like, I've been following Donald Trump's whole like career since I was born, on this earth. And yeah, I'd be seriously, even as a young child, I loved Donald Trump. I just found him to be so fascinating, a larger than life personality. And I always heard him throughout my whole life speaking in a way that is so powerful that you have no choice but to believe it, even if it's potentially an exaggeration. But you have no choice but to believe it, just with the conviction in his voice. I have the greatest properties in the world. They're worth so and so amount. I'm worth so and so amount. I'm worth 2 billion. Next, I'm worth 3 billion. Next, I'm worth 5 billion. I'm worth 8 billion. I'm worth 10 billion. He even said at one time in a statement that his net worth fluctuates based on sometimes mood swings, including his own. He said that in a statement. But the thing is that he was never asked to take accountability ever for the statements that he's made. So this is the first time, at least, that I have ever witnessed, and I've been following Donald Trump forever. The first time I've ever witnessed him now kind of being held accountable. In other words, prove to me what you're saying is true. Okay, you're saying that, Mar-a-Lago is worth 1.5 billion. Prove it to me. Give me evidence. So I think what happened was that there's two sides of the coin. So I think the judge in this case estimated that Mar-a-Lago was worth 18 million. Now that is a very low amount. I'm even saying, even for a club, that Mar-a-Lago is one of the most prestigious, well-known properties in America. I mean, this was from the Post family, the Post Foundation. Then this was considered Donald Trump's, winter White House. No, I mean, I think that, look, again, I just want to just be perfectly clear when I say that I'm not a professional person who appraises properties. I am not an appraisal, this is not what I do for a profession, but I would assume, okay, let me just say that Mar-a-Lago would be worth significantly higher than 18 billion. So I think that even, you know, West Palm Beach, the people who regulate this, I guess, agreed. I don't know. Trump made a statement in the court. I'll say it's alleged, but he made a statement saying that the West Palm Beach officials who handle these types of matters agree that $18 million is an extremely low, appraisal, or an opinion of what Mar-a-Lago is worth is extremely on the low side. And I tend to agree with that. So, but then what he does is he's never done this before. You understand? He's trying in a way to prove two things at once. Okay. He's still trying to prove that Mar-a-Lago is worth $1.5 billion. So he'll make a statement saying a lot of people, like, now this is the thing he won't say. If you listen very closely, this is what makes him a genius speaker. If you listen very closely to his words, okay, he never says that the regulatory parties or whoever handles these appraised matters in West Palm Beach feel that Mar-a-Lago is worth 1.5 billion. He doesn't say that. He doesn't say that. He says someone feels. Now, who's someone? Santa Claus? The Easter Bunny? He doesn't get specific. He goes, a lot of people will feel, a lot of people, that Mar-a-Lago is worth 1.5 billion. So if you listen very closely to how he speaks, all he's stipulating is that $18 million, which I think everyone kind of agrees with. This isn't something, that is disputed. 18 million is very low for Mar-a-Lago. Come on. I mean, and even the professionals who are the regulatory body or whoever handle these matters, okay, agree to the same thing. In other words, I think they made a statement, according to Trump, that $18 million is a very low estimate, a very, very low estimate. And I think most of the country, most of the world, any real estate professional, any appraisal firm, and anyone who handles appraisals, I think would probably unanimously agree that 18 million, again, I'll say it's alleged because I can't prove it because I'm not a professional in that industry, but it's just something you would assume. I mean, Mar-a-Lago is one of the most prestigious, well-known clubs in America. 18 million could be argued, at least. It could be argued it's a low estimate, but again, I can't validate that because I just want to be clear to you. I'm not an appraisal. I don't have a firm that handles in these matters, and it's subject just to entertainment purposes only, in my own opinion. But I don't think nobody feels, no one, including West Palm Beach or including any officials at West Palm Beach or including anyone in the real estate industry or anyone who is a professional regarding appraisals, that Mar-a-Lago is worth 1.5 billion. So that's just a completely spaced out, insane in the membrane, Norman Bates friggin', feeling. But that's what Trump has always did his whole life. He calls it, a friendly form of self-promotion, hyperbole. Okay. And the thing is that what makes it so interesting is that he's never been asked to make his statements become real. They've always just been an innocent form of self-promotion, a way to exaggerate his net worth to promote his brand. And I just find it to be so fascinating and interesting that he's still in a position now, now that we're in 2023, years and years later, where Donald Trump has been in business well over 50, plus years, and has made a mark for himself as a very, very successful, businessman, real estate developer, and people has never questioned him, and they always assumed everything he was saying is true, but now they're questioning him, and you kind of hear him speak in a way where it's like a rock in a hard place because he still wants to be that Trump that we all know from the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, where he's just doing that hyperbole, where that friendly form of self-promotion, and he's doing it again with Mar-a-Lago. It's worth 1.5 billion. It's worth 1. Some people say, who are these some people? Who are they? He won't say. But at the same time, he's also kind of proving, well, I told the judge, I told everyone that we put together a disclaimer that stipulates, go out, he's talking about to the banks and the financial institutions that give him obviously loans, or the insurance corporations that give him these favorable insurance rates, whatever. So he says, listen, we have a disclaimer that stipulates, don't believe anything you read about the financials on the statement. He says, so that should eliminate him from fraud, right? Because he's basically telling, it's a good point. He's telling the banks, he's telling the insurance companies, don't believe a single word that you read about my financials, or my corporate financials. Go out there and do your own due diligence. But isn't that a kind of a weird argument? That if 1 minute you're saying Mar-a-Lago is worth 1.5 billion and you seem very confident, you seem like that same Donald Trump that we've known from the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s and on, you seem so cocky and so confident that Mar-a-Lago is in fact worth 1.5 billion, but yet you have to throw in at the same time. I also told all the financial institutions I deal with not to believe a single word I say. So which one is it? Do you want people to believe you, or do you feel that disclaimer that you put in there should be taken seriously? That people should not believe a single word you say, especially financial institutions issuing you loans. They should definitely go out and do their own homework. So he's making a two-part argument, and I've never seen him do that before. I've never seen Donald Trump in my whole life make a two-point argument. You understand? Now, because another thing that's happening is people are saying, well, let's assume that Mar-a-Lago is worth 1.5 billion. If Mar-a-Lago is in fact worth 1.5 billion, did Donald Trump pay taxes, all these years, or for however long he felt it was worth that much? Did he pay taxes on that? Because he might then be liable for a lot of taxes. So this is, again, I'll say it's all alleged, but I'm just saying that I've never seen him make a two-part argument before. You know, don't believe a single word I say, but Mar-a-Lago is worth 1.5 billion. So which one is it? This video is not financial advice. I am not a financial planner. This video is for entertainment purposes only.